What happens when giant alien robots crash land in a universe filled with super soldiers, billionaire inventors, and reality-warping mutants? Today, we're throwing the Transformers into the Marvel universe to see who survives, who thrives, and who gets turned into scrap metal. This isn't some peaceful coexistence scenario. This is about whether these massive machines can handle a world where gods walk among mortals and cosmic threats are just another Tuesday. I'm ranking each major Transformer in a tier list from Dominates all the way down to Dead. Remember, this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe we're talking about, so we're dealing with movie versions of these characters, not their comic book counterparts. The stakes are different, the power levels vary, and the politics are way more complicated than anything Cybertron ever dealt with. Let's start with Optimus Prime, and I'm putting him straight into Thrives. Prime isn't just a leader, he's a strategic mastermind with centuries of combat experience. The moment he arrives on Earth, he'd probably align himself with the Avengers. Think about it. Steve Rogers and Optimus Prime would see eye to eye immediately. Both are natural leaders who put protecting innocent lives above everything else. Prime's combat capabilities are insane. We've seen him tear through Decepticons, military forces, and even other Primes. His Ion Blaster can punch through pretty much anything, and his Energon Axe has sliced through opponents that seemed invincible. Against most Marvel threats, he'd hold his own easily. Ultron's drones? Not even a warm-up. Chitauri invasion? Prime would be carving through their ranks while coordinating defensive strategies. The real advantage Prime has is his ability to inspire and unite people. The Avengers have always struggled with teamwork and trust issues. Prime would become the moral center they desperately need. Tony Stark might be the brains and Steve Rogers the heart, but Prime would be the unshakable foundation that keeps everyone focused on the mission. He'd also have incredible value as a strategic asset. Prime has dealt with planetary invasions, civil wars, and extinction-level events. When Thanos shows up with his army, Prime would already be 3 steps ahead with contingency plans. The only thing holding him back from dominating is that he'd refuse to cross certain moral lines that might be necessary in the Marvel universe. Moving on to Megatron, and this one's interesting because he lands in Dominates. The movie version of Megatron is pure, calculated brutality. He's not just strong, he's smart, ruthless, and willing to do whatever it takes to win. In the Marvel universe, those qualities make him incredibly dangerous. Megatron wouldn't try to fit in or find allies. He'd immediately start building his own power base. Think about all the criminal organizations, terrorist groups, and rogue nations that exist in the Marvel world. Megatron would unite them under his banner within months. He has strength to crush anyone who opposes him. His fusion cannon is devastating enough to level city blocks, and his combat skills are legendary. We've seen him go toe-to-toe with Prime and other powerhouses. Against Marvel heroes, he'd be a nightmare scenario. Iron Man suits? Megatron would tear through them like paper. Thor might give him a real fight, but Megatron's tactical mind would find ways to exploit even the God of Thunder's weaknesses. The scariest part is that Megatron learns and adapts. Every battle makes him stronger and smarter. He'd study every hero's fighting style, every weakness, every personal connection that could be exploited. Before long, he wouldn't just be fighting the Avengers, he'd be dismantling everything they care about piece by piece. What really pushes him into Dominates is his willingness to embrace the darker aspects of the Marvel universe. While heroes worry about collateral damage and moral boundaries, Megatron would make deals with anyone who could give him an advantage. Criminal masterminds, corrupt politicians, even cosmic entities if it served his purposes. Now for Bumblebee, and I'm putting him in Survives. The movie Bumblebee is scrappy, resourceful, and surprisingly tough for his size. He's not going to dominate any major threat, but he's got the skills and personality to carve out a niche in the Marvel world. B would probably end up working with street-level heroes like Spider-Man or Daredevil. His size makes him perfect for urban environments where stealth and agility matter more than raw firepower. He could zip through New York traffic, gather intelligence, and provide support in ways that bigger Transformers couldn't. His biggest asset is his ability to connect with humans on an emotional level. We've seen how quickly he bonds with people, and that would serve him well in a universe where personal relationships often determine who lives and who dies. He'd probably become the team's morale booster and the bridge between human and Transformer members. Quick pit stop here. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, smash that like button. I'm putting way too much thought into robot versus superhero matchups, and your support keeps me going. The challenges for Bumblebee are obvious. He's not built for the big cosmic threats that regularly show up in the Marvel Universe. When Galactus arrives, or the Dark Dimension starts bleeding through, B would be way out of his league. But that's okay, because he'd find his value in the smaller, more personal battles that happen every day. Starscream gets placed in, hates it, and honestly, this was an easy call. Starscream is ambitious, treacherous, and constantly scheming to overthrow Megatron. In the Marvel Universe, those traits would get him killed fast. Starscream's entire personality revolves around wanting power, but lacking the patience or wisdom to use it effectively. He'd probably try to play multiple sides against each other, making deals with heroes and villains alike. The problem is that the Marvel Universe is full of people who are way better at political manipulation than he is. Imagine Starscream trying to outwit someone like Norman Osborn or Loki. He'd get played so hard it wouldn't even be entertaining. His arrogance would blind him to obvious traps, and his cowardice would make him abandon potentially winning strategies the moment things got dangerous. The flying advantage that makes him formidable against ground-based opponents becomes meaningless when half the heroes and villains can fly just as fast as he can. Iron Man's repulsors, Thor's hammer throws, and Captain Marvel's photon blasts would turn his aerial superiority into a liability. Starscream would spend his time in the Marvel Universe constantly frustrated. Every scheme would fail, every alliance would betray him, and every victory would be temporary. He'd hate how complicated everything is compared to the straightforward Autobot versus Decepticon conflict he's used to. Blackout lands firmly in dead tier. This massive Decepticon is built for overwhelming force and psychological warfare, but the Marvel Universe has too many reality-bending threats for his approach to work long-term. Blackout's electromagnetic pulse ability would be devastating against technology-based heroes like Iron Man, but it's a one-trick pony. Once heroes figure out how to counter or work around it, he's just a really big target. His helicopter ult mode makes him vulnerable to anyone who can fly faster than military aircraft, which includes most of the heavy hitters. The real problem is that Blackout relies on fear and intimidation tactics that simply don't work against seasoned Marvel heroes. These are people who faced down cosmic entities and world-ending scenarios. A giant robot helicopter isn't going to make them think twice about charging into battle. His size, which should be an advantage, actually works against him in a universe where precision and adaptability matter more than raw destructive power. He'd be effective in the short term, maybe winning a few early battles through sheer surprise and overwhelming force. But once the heroes adapted their strategies, Blackout would find himself outmaneuvered and overwhelmed. The Marvel Universe rewards intelligence, teamwork, and the ability to think outside the box. Blackout represents everything that's wrong with the Decepticon approach to warfare. Brutal, direct, and ultimately self-defeating when faced with opponents who refuse to stay afraid. Soundwave earns his place in Thrives, and this might surprise some people. Soundwave is a master of information warfare and electronic infiltration. In a universe where technology controls everything from SHIELD databases to Stark Industries security systems, Soundwave becomes incredibly valuable. His satellite ult mode gives him global reach that no other Transformer possesses. He could monitor every communication, hack into any network, and coordinate operations across multiple continents simultaneously. The moment he arrives, he'd have access to every secret the Marvel Universe tries to hide. Government black sites, superhero identities, criminal organization plans, all of it becomes his playground. Soundwave's drone deployment capability makes him a one-robot intelligence agency. His Ravage deployment showed he can insert assets anywhere without detection. Against heroes who rely on secret identities and hidden bases, this makes him nearly unstoppable. He'd know Spider-Man is Peter Parker before the web slinger even realizes there's a new player in town. What really sets him apart is his patience and strategic thinking. While other Decepticons charging guns blazing, Soundwave plays the long game. He'd spend months gathering intelligence, identifying weaknesses, and building comprehensive profiles on every major player. By the time anyone realizes he's a threat, he'd already have contingencies for their contingencies. Shockwave gets slotted into dominates without hesitation. The movie version represents pure logical efficiency taken to its terrifying conclusion. His approach to problem solving aligns perfectly with the kind of calculated brutality that succeeds in the Marvel Universe. Shockwave's scientific background makes him uniquely dangerous against heroes who rely on technology. He wouldn't just fight Iron Man, he'd reverse engineer every piece of Stark tech and improve upon it. His experiments on Cybertron showed he's willing to cross any ethical line if it serves his goals. In a universe where mad scientists regularly threaten reality itself, Shockwave would fit right in. His combat abilities speak for themselves. That massive cannon arm has destroyed entire city blocks, and his tentacle appendages give him incredible versatility in close combat. He's patient enough to study his opponents and ruthless enough to exploit every weakness he discovers. The real terror comes from his complete lack of emotion or moral restraint. Heroes often win because villains get overconfident or make mistakes based on pride or anger. Shockwave doesn't have those vulnerabilities. Every decision is calculated for maximum efficiency. Every action serves the greater logical framework he's constructed. He'd probably establish himself as the premier weapons dealer and scientific consultant for criminal organizations worldwide. Need someone eliminated? Shockwave calculates the most efficient method. Want to destabilize a government? He provides the optimal strategy. Require advanced technology? He delivers innovations that make Stark tech look primitive. Jetfire lands and survives, but barely. The movie version of this ancient seeker has power and experience, but his age and personality quirks work against him in the Marvel Universe's fast-paced environment. His teleportation ability through space bridges would be incredibly valuable for rapid response situations. When cosmic threats appear on the other side of the galaxy, Jetfire could transport entire teams instantly. His firepower rivals that of small military units, and his aerial capabilities are impressive even by Marvel standards. The problem is his erratic personality and tendency toward philosophical rambling. In battles where split-second decisions matter, Jetfire's habit of stopping to contemplate the deeper meaning of conflict could get him killed. He's powerful enough to survive most encounters, but his unpredictability makes him unreliable as a long-term ally. His age also works against him. The Marvel Universe moves fast, with new threats emerging constantly. Jetfire's outdated perspectives and combat techniques might not adapt quickly enough to handle modern challenges. He'd survive through raw power and experience, but struggle to truly excel. Barricade earns his spot and hates it. This Decepticon police car represents everything wrong with law enforcement taken to its logical extreme. In a universe where heroes regularly work with government agencies and law enforcement, Barricade's methods would put him at odds with everyone. His police alt mode gives him natural camouflage in urban environments, but his sadistic personality ruins any tactical advantage. Barricade enjoys inflicting pain and terror, which makes him sloppy and predictable. Heroes would quickly learn to recognize his patterns and set traps accordingly. The Marvel Universe has strict codes about collateral damage and civilian casualties. Barricade's approach of using innocent people as weapons and shields would unite heroes and villains against him. Even criminal organizations prefer to operate without drawing unnecessary attention from law enforcement. His combat skills are solid, but not exceptional. Against street-level heroes like Daredevil or Luke Cage, he might win through superior firepower. But against anyone with real power or tactical training, his reliance on intimidation tactics would backfire spectacularly. Barricade would spend his time constantly frustrated by the complexity of Marvel Universe politics. Every brutal interrogation would create new enemies. Every civilian casualty would bring more heroes hunting him. He'd hate how his straightforward approach fails repeatedly against opponents who think 3 steps ahead. The Fallen deserves placement in dead tier, and this might be controversial given his cosmic level power. The movie version represents ancient evil and incredible destructive capability, but his fundamental approach to conquest is completely wrong for the Marvel Universe. The Fallen's star harvesting plan requires massive preparation and specific astronomical conditions. In a universe where heroes regularly prevent world-ending scenarios, he'd never get the time needed to implement his schemes. Someone would interrupt his preparations long before he could achieve critical mass. His reliance on mystical elements and ancient prophecies makes him predictable to heroes who've dealt with similar threats. Doctor Strange encounters beings like the Fallen regularly. The Sorcerer Supreme would recognize the threat pattern and coordinate an appropriate response before the Fallen could establish himself. More importantly, the Fallen's arrogance and contempt for lesser beings blinds him to genuine threats. He'd dismiss heroes as insignificant insects right up until Thor's hammer cracks his skull or Captain Marvel punches him through a planet. His inability to adapt or learn from setbacks would doom him against opponents who grow stronger through adversity. The cosmic entities that actually rule the Marvel Universe would see the Fallen as a territorial threat to their domains. Beings like Galactus or the Living Tribunal wouldn't tolerate another cosmic-level destroyer operating in their space. The Fallen might be powerful, but he's not powerful enough to fight every major cosmic entity simultaneously. If you've made it this far into the breakdown, hit that subscribe button. These deep dives into crossover scenarios take serious research, and your support helps me keep making them. Lockdown gets placed in Thrives, based purely on his adaptive capabilities and mercenary mindset. The movie version of this bounty hunter represents everything that works in the Marvel Universe's morally grey landscape. Lockdown doesn't care about ideology or grand schemes. He identifies targets, develops strategies, and executes missions with professional efficiency. In a universe full of heroes with secret identities and complex personal lives, this makes him incredibly dangerous. He'd take contracts from anyone willing to pay, building a reputation as the galaxy's most effective hunter. His ship-based operations and advanced technology give him advantages that most Marvel Universe threats lack. He can operate from space, deploy specialized equipment for each target, and retreat when situations become unfavorable. This flexibility would serve him well against heroes who rely on predictable patterns and home field advantages. The transforming cage weaponry and magnetic manipulation systems he employs would catch most heroes off guard. Heroes expect certain types of attacks based on their previous experiences. Lockdown's unconventional arsenal would force them to adapt constantly, giving him tactical advantages in extended conflicts. His willingness to work with anyone who meets his price means he'd quickly become integrated into the Marvel Universe's complex web of alliances and betrayals. Criminal organizations would hire him to eliminate heroes. Governments would contract him for black operations. Eventually, even heroes might reluctantly work with him when facing threats that require his specific skill set. What makes Lockdown even more dangerous is his complete lack of emotional attachment to his targets. While villains often develop personal vendettas that cloud their judgment, Lockdown treats every contract as a business transaction. This cold professionalism would make him nearly impossible to predict or manipulate through psychological warfare. Sentinel Prime lands squarely in dead tier, which might shock people given his incredible power and combat prowess. The movie version of this former Autobot leader has the raw strength to challenge any Marvel heavy hitter, but his fundamental character flaws doom him from the start. Sentinel's betrayal of his own principles and people shows a level of self-deception that would be exploited mercilessly in the Marvel Universe. Heroes like Captain America and villains like Loki are experts at reading people's true motivations. They'd see through his noble facade within minutes and turn his guilt against him. His space bridge technology could theoretically give him massive strategic advantages, but Sentinel lacks the vision to use it effectively. Instead of building a sustainable power base or forming strategic alliances, he'd rush toward his goals with the same impatience that led to his downfall on Cybertron. This short-sightedness would put him on collision courses with multiple factions simultaneously. The Marvel Universe punishes leaders who betray their followers' trust. Sentinel's willingness to sacrifice Autobots for his vision would immediately alienate potential allies while making him a priority target for heroes who've dealt with similar fallen leaders. His combat skills might win him individual battles, but he'd lose the war through political incompetence. Devastator earns placement and hates it despite his overwhelming destructive potential. Devastator's sheer size and power would make him temporarily unstoppable against most opposition. His matter-consuming abilities could literally eat through military fortifications and urban infrastructure. Against heroes who rely on environmental advantages or technological support, he'd be a nightmare scenario that forces complete tactical retreats. The problem comes from his complete lack of strategic thinking or adaptability. Devastator is essentially a living natural disaster, which means heroes would treat him like one. They'd evacuate civilians, establish perimeters, and methodically dismantle him using the same approaches they use against cosmic threats or unstoppable monsters. Quick reminder to drop a like if you're enjoying these matchups. Breaking down how these massive robots would fare against Earth's mightiest heroes is way more complex than you'd expect. His dependency on the individual Constructicons creates multiple failure points that Marvel heroes would exploit. Take out the right component at the right moment, and the entire gestalt collapses. Heroes like Iron Man or Black Widow excel at identifying and targeting these kinds of systematic vulnerabilities. More importantly, Devastator's existence would unite every major faction against him. Heroes would see him as an extinction-level threat to innocent lives. Villains would recognize him as competition for their territorial ambitions. Even criminal organizations would want him eliminated because his rampages would bring unwanted attention from law enforcement and heroes alike. The Dinobots, specifically Grimlock from the movie, get slotted into survives with significant potential for advancement. These ancient mechanical warriors combine raw power with just enough intelligence to adapt to changing battlefield conditions. Grimlock's dinosaur alt mode gives him psychological advantages that most Transformers lack. Humans have instinctive fear responses to prehistoric predators, which would make him incredibly effective at crowd control and intimidation tactics. Against heroes who rely on inspiring hope in civilians, this primal terror factor becomes a genuine tactical asset. His combat style meshes perfectly with the Marvel Universe's tendency towards spectacular battles. Grimlock doesn't do subtle or strategic. He charges in with overwhelming force and settles conflicts through superior firepower and physical dominance. This approach would actually work well against villains who overthink their schemes or heroes who hesitate due to moral considerations. The challenge for Grimlock lies in his limited patience for complex political situations. The Marvel Universe requires understanding multiple factions, shifting alliances, and long-term consequences. Grimlock's preference for direct action would put him at disadvantages in scenarios that can't be solved through pure combat prowess. However, his loyalty to protective instincts would eventually earn him allies among heroes who share similar values. Characters like Thor or the Hulk would appreciate his straightforward approach to conflict resolution. Over time, Grimlock could develop into a valuable heavy assault specialist for teams that need overwhelming force applied precisely. Ratchet finds himself in Thrive's territory based on his medical expertise and support capabilities. The movie version of this Autobot medic represents something the Marvel Universe desperately needs more of. Someone focused on preserving life rather than taking it. So there you have it. From Megatron and Shockwave completely dominating the landscape to Blackout and the Fallen getting turned into scrap metal, the Transformers would create absolute chaos in the Marvel Universe. The smart ones like Soundwave and Lockdown would find their niche and build power bases. The noble ones like Optimus Prime would become legendary heroes. And the unstable ones like Starscream would hate every second of their new reality. The Marvel Universe doesn't care how big your guns are or how ancient your power is. It rewards adaptability, intelligence, and the ability to survive in a world where the rules change every Tuesday. What crossover matchup should we break down next?